Okay, it's Sergeant Josh Hansen, U.S. Army, retired. Okay, I served 2 tours in Iraq. I'm an Iraq veteran. I served from 2004, 2005, and then went back in 2006 and 7. My job was an IED hunter. I would go out ahead of the Marines I was serving with in Fallujah. I was in the Army, but served with the Marines. And I would locate the bombs on the roads, improvised explosive devices, the IEDs. I would hunt those out, locate them, disarm them, and then we could safely bypass to do our mission. And hopefully no one would ever get hit as we passed by. And so it was an extremely dangerous job, but very rewarding. Every bomb we pulled off the road, even the ones that hit my truck, and we all walk away from, was 3 life saves from death or injury. So it was a very rewarding job to be in, and obviously a very dangerous one. When you're looking for IEDs, anything could be a bomb on the road, as far as tires laying beside the road, trash. So your mindset gets in that place. In 2007, in March 15th, I was hit for my 8th time. Either you find the bombs or you get hit by them. It was a cat and mouse game, and my 8th hit is what got me medevaced out of Iraq, and I was in the hospital for 3 months down in Texas, and another 3 years recovering here at home.
What were your injuries?
My injuries at the time, when you get 8 concussions between October 06 and March 07, the brain just basically shut down. I had neck and back injuries. So the long recovery was a brain injury that I had to get over and get healthy enough at the hospital in Texas before they would transfer me back to Utah here at home. During the war, I lost 6 great men in the battle, and here at home during my recovery time, I lost 5. I'm up to 5 now that I've lost to suicide. And basically, myself during my recovery time, it was so difficult because it's very hard on the families. So I was really feeling like I was a burden on the family. I was causing major issues. The family would be better off if I wasn't around. If I would just die by suicide, everyone would be happier in my life and they could move on and enjoy. And it's going to one of my really close soldiers that died by suicide when I was at his funeral, and seeing his wife that was pregnant at the time, his child, and how much pain it caused the family to have him die by suicide was my turning point in life to say, whoa, this is the road I'm going down. The tunnel's getting so dark. How do I start getting the light again in my life and change things?
So what did you do?
After my injuries and seeing the the veterans dying around me by suicide, I thought, we led them during the war. We need to do that here at home. But I first needed to get myself healthy. Suffering from post-traumatic stress and the severe depression, anxiety that I was going through after war, I needed to heal myself before you can help others. And I was 50 pounds heavier than I am today. I was never leaving the house. I was just caging myself up, which a lot of us veterans tend to do when we get home from battle. And so for me, it was getting outside again and moving. Physical fitness and eating healthy is what started changing my life, and getting professional help for the problems I was suffering through. And getting professional help was extremely important, on top of eating healthy, exercise, and getting other veterans out together with each other and getting that family bond back that we miss so much in the military. Once you're out, I see it even with retired athletes. They say once they got out of their NFL team, they lost that family. They lived with these individuals day in and day out, and then when they retire, they get depressed, and there's a kind of a same scenario there from their retirement. So for me, it's getting the veterans, the military personnel back together again, And I started a program, Continue Mission, to do that. Continue Mission in Life and Healing. In the military, we call it Charlie Mike, CM. And for us, it's getting veterans back out of the house, back together again, out doing fun, enjoyable events with their family members as well. Because the family is so important for my healing process that for me in the program, we needed to do something to get the veterans motivated to get out again and get their lives back. And for me, that's very important. You know, if we don't let that tunnel get too dark and we're going, you know, if we can catch you before you're at that point and you start getting the professional help, you start finding like-minded individuals suffering through the same things you are, so you know you're not alone and you do have a purpose in life and we need to take care of each other. That's what our goal is at Continue Mission, is let's pull them out of there before it's too late.
So I love what you just said, and what I'm hearing you say, Dan, is something that we're trying to create here in Centerville, and that is connectedness. Mm-hmm. So would you just talk a little bit more about the importance of connectedness, because that's what I'm hearing you say.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. With our program, Continue Mission, I think what's making it work is the networking. You know, when you're getting connected with each other. In today's world, we're so connected with our digital social media and digital items, but we're not actually physically getting out together. With our program, when everybody sees each other, they greet with a hug. We go out and enjoy a great event together. And then we usually will go out to a lunch and laugh and joke and have a good time. So you have a group of 10 to 15 individuals that are really enjoying life and each other's company. And the networking is where the program works. So now veterans in our organization, if they're feeling down or depressed, they can call another veteran that they've met through our organization and say, hey, I really need to go for a hike today. I need to go for a bike ride. And it's that connection with other, it's kind of like the tribal, you know, the old tribes. You know, the tribes worked because you took care of each other. And, you know, a lot of the times I'll hear others say, oh, you know, why is the VA not doing something about this VA or the suicide? Why is the state not doing stuff about suicide? And I have to pull them aside and say, you know, it's up to all of us. It's not just one individual, one company, one state that needs to do it. We all need to take care of each other. And if we aren't taking care of each other, that's where we're losing focus on life. And for me, a lot, you know, in my working years before I got medically retired from the military, I was at work more than I was with my family. You know, so I think it's really important for businesses to understand the signs of suicide. Because basically you're with your people you're working with more than you're with your family a lot of times. And if people in their jobs can start sensing something's not right, you know, maybe we can help that individual. Our organization really deals with a lot of the unseen injuries. We call them the hidden wounds. You know, whether it was in combat related or non-combat related, you know, our society has a lot of hidden wounds. You can look totally perfect on social media, but yet in life, that individual can really be suffering and nobody is picking up on it. And so I think it's very important that we start getting out together more, being more social as a city and doing things together to pay attention and understand each other.
Wonderful, thank you. That's such an important point that we need made, so I appreciate your saying that, expressing that. So how is it working for you? How is life now? How is it working for the veterans that you're working with? I think we'll start with that. I have another question afterwards. So
okay.
Yeah.
For me, after I started Continue Mission in 2014, what I realized is how healing it is to me to be helping others and hearing their stories and sharing mine. You know, when people look at me and they think, oh, he's got the greatest life there ever is, you know, he gets to go do all these fun things. They don't realize I'm suffering too. And I still, day in and day out, have to force myself out of the house still to get out and do things. But where, with continued mission in life and healing, is we need to get out and do things. You know, when someone that doesn't have depression or hasn't experienced it, they don't realize how hard it is to get out that front door to go on a mountain bike ride. And continued mission saves my life, because I set up your program, I have to go paddleboarding, I have to go cycling, I have to go for a hike. When I set these things up, I have to go to them. And for me, there had to be a turning point in my life as well. After being injured during combat, I kept worrying about the past so much. And you don't have to forget about the horrible things you've been through, I mean, because they're a part of your life. But I had to draw a line and say, okay, that was then. This is the new me. How am I going to heal and move forward in life to make my life work for me, and not let depression and post-traumatic stress rule my life, ruin my family life, so I could enjoy life again. And so I've learned with Continue Mission, I use these tools of getting out with like-minded other veterans and the physical fitness end of things, which truly helps with my healing. You know, it's let me know, you know, I can work through this. Of course, we're gonna have our bad days and good days. You're gonna have that roller coaster effect. But realizing that and knowing that is huge. You know, I'll have a veteran say, oh, well, I just can't come paddleboarding today, or I can't go on the snowshoe because I'm feeling down and depressed. And I'll laugh and I go, well, that means you need to come out with us, because that's gonna fix that. And they'll laugh at me, they're like, you know, you're right, I'll come out. You know, and they'll come out and go on the event, and you see such a change. Even if our program can help somebody for that 1 hour, they're happy and things have changed. When they get super depressed, I've had veterans say, you know what, I got really depressed, I was having horrible thoughts, but then I thought of that time we went alpine skiing, or that fun mountain bike ride, or the river trip we went on, and it helps me hold on to life and let me know that there is a brighter future out there, and to not let this one thing because our brains will play tricks on us. Your brain, when you start getting into negativity, will instantly continue to feed that until we can stop it. I'm not a doctor, I'm not a scientist, I just know what happens in my head, and that's how I feel, and I'm sure others feel the same way. So if we can turn those thoughts around and stomp on it and do something fun, a lot of times it breaks that cycle of the negativity and gets you on the road to healing again.
Wonderful. So the Centerville City, we're going to be creating activities and events for neighbors to come together. How important do you think, and if it doesn't, that's fine too, but I just really want to know your opinion on, could that be effective and helpful for people in the community? Not necessarily, I mean, veterans as well, but we're looking
Sure.
at in general.
Right.
Having activities and events to pull people out of their homes and mixing with their neighbors. How important might that be?
Sure. You know, with my healing process through depression and the mental health issues I've gone through, you know, I've noticed that even on our social media pages that a lot of people that never served in the military say, wow, you know, what you're doing motivates me to get out and do things. And so with the city of Centerville getting people out of the houses and together again, it builds that relationship. You know, I feel a lot of times we are losing that. And like I say, that tribe feeling. You know, back in the day, the villages helped the families grow, helped take care of one another. And I'd love to see that come back in full force. And so it's a beautiful thing when the cities can get together and hold events and everyone comes out and participates, and you know, you start learning who that neighbor is across the street. You start learning who's in the area. And even with our veterans program, it's been amazing to hold an event and two veterans will get talking at an event and find out they live 2 blocks away from each other and had no clue they were that close. And it has changed their lives because now they're just down the street and they go on walks together and get out and support each other that way. So it's amazing who's living around you that you don't really know, and you could have a lot in common, and it does build the community, and it does make our physical and mental health better. We need to get that back in our lives, because I think we're too caught up with watching TV and the social media. You look outside. I've done events with the VA hospital, and they've come out and they're like, wow, why are these veterans opening up so much to you? And I'm like, well, look at my office. I'm outdoors. Look at how beautiful my office is. Did you hear that bird chirping? That's beautiful. Sometimes the stop and smell the roses, a lot of people don't understand. And there was a few times I almost had my life taken from me during the war. And when you come home, that finally meant something to me. Stop and smell the roses. I could smell things that I never smelled before. I could hear birds chirping that I never heard before. It's amazing how we shut out our nature in our life, and we need to bring that back. How beautiful is a river running? The sound of the wind blowing through trees and the leaves, to me, is so self-healing. And so to me, nature is so healing. And so getting outside, getting away from all the electronics for a day and going for a hike, it'll change your life, your family's life. And I think it's great that the city wants to get people out together again and get that back.
Wonderful. That's perfect. Thank
See
you.
how I just ramble?
Great. Beautiful points, and I appreciate how you brought it in the way you did. How important do you think diet is to this whole process? You said you started eating healthy and taking care of yourself, that you've been 50 pounds heavier. So
Sure.
without focusing so much on, I'm not wanting to have anybody feel fat shamed or anything.
Right.
But, how do you feel diet plays into mental health?
Okay. For me, during my recovery time and to help with my mental health and physical health, I started doing a bit of studying on nutrition. And I realized when I was 50 pounds heavier, I paid attention to the foods I ate. And, how many times have you heard someone say, oh, I can't think because I'm so hungry? Well, that is so true with food. What we eat goes to our brain. And when I was continually eating, improper foods, my body couldn't process what was going on. And when I started eating fruits and vegetables and healthier foods, I noticed I didn't need to eat as much, and I was happier. I actually had more energy due to the fact of the way I was eating. Food is our source of energy for our bodies. And I've learned now with all the activities I do, last year we did over 158 events, and I do trail racing, and I've done mountain bike racing and stuff, and none of that would have been possible without a good nutrition. And when I was eating unhealthy, I was just always tired. It was really hard to get out and get moving. And as I started eating healthier foods, it was pretty amazing to see that I had energy to get outside and do more as well. So for me, nutrition and exercise is really huge. And personally, I have a hard time just going to a gym to knock things out. So for me, if you can go throw a frisbee at the disc golf course here in Centerville, you're throwing the frisbee towards a basket, you have to bend over, pick it up, throw it again, and you're walking, you're throwing a disc, and that's exercise. But it's exercise in a fun way. And that's why our organization does so many different activities, from pickleball, disc golf, biking, and hiking, is you're exercising, but it's in a fun way, which people really enjoy. And the nutrition end of it is so powerful with, like I say, what you eat goes to your brain, and definitely gives you that energy to say, hey, let's do this. Let's get moving.
How important do you think it would be to have, in some communities that are blue zone communities that live a long time, they have a push towards having farmers markets and that kind of thing. And I'm just curious whether or not we use it for this or not.
Mm-hmm.
For you, access to a farmer's market or something, would that be important, do you think? Or
Sure. For me, the nutrition that I like to eat, if you can get local grown fruits and vegetables, from your neighbors. I love it when neighbors bring over stuff from their gardens. you know where it was grown, you know it hasn't been processed with who knows what. And so the local farmer markets and that type of sharing of foods from neighbors, to me, has been really, really neat. I had a great garden, and we were always giving out our tomatoes and vegetables to our neighbors. And it's fun when somebody comes over for our barbecue. I'd just go out to my garden. I'd peel the lettuce right off the plant. You know, I mean, you can't get any fresher than that. Which to me was really important, because I think that's another aspect of life that we're leaving for others to do. And the farmer markets and growing foods locally in your own town is pretty important, I feel. And I wish we could get that back more to a higher rate. Does that make sense?
Yes, thank you, and I appreciate